welcome to Hockey Talkie. The Stanley Cup Final is finally here, the climax of the NHL season, and as we all predicted, it's the Washington Capitals against the Vegas Golden Knights. Of course, it's the Capitals versus the Golden Knights. Now, Vegas has been a huge story all year, and for good reason, really, but let's set Vegas aside for a second. We'll talk about them later. Let's start off with the Washington Capitals. The Washington Capitals won the President's Trophy last year, had some high expectations going into the playoffs because of that. They survived a 7-game series in round one against the upstart Toronto Maple Leafs before bowing out in the second round to the Pittsburgh Penguins as per tradition. Due to salary cap constraints and the expansion draft, they lost a couple guys, and expectations kind of lowered after that. Nobody really thought they were going to win the President's Trophy this year, but they still had Ovechkin, they still had Backstrom, they still had Oshie, they still had Karlsson, they still had Kuznetsov, they still had Holtby. They were going to be a good team. Lo and behold, over 100 points, win their division, and make the playoffs. However, at times this year, for a team that won over 100 points in a season, it was a real struggle. They didn't really do a good job convincing people that this team, out of all the recent successful teams, that this one was going to be the one that got over that playoff hump. And if you did think that, well, you're probably a Caps fan. However, I would argue that Caps fans probably were pessimistic about their chances, so I'm not quite sure on that front. When they went down 0-2 at home to the Columbus Blue Jackets in round one, not a lot of people were in their court. They figured this team's just going to bounce in round one. However, they stormed back just to play the Pittsburgh Penguins in round two, and we knew how that was going to go. We knew. We'd seen it before. But we didn't know. And somehow, some way, this team, the Washington Capitals of this year, finally exercised their demons and beat the Penguins in round two and got to the conference finals just to play the Tampa Bay Lightning. A Lightning team who had a fantastic regular season, a Vezina-worthy goaltender, a team that most would say won the trade deadline. They went all in. This was going to be their year. But it wasn't their year because of the Washington Capitals. And here we are. Ovechkin, one of the greatest goal scorers in NHL history, is finally in the Stanley Cup Final. The Washington Capitals are in the Stanley Cup Final just so they can face the Vegas Golden Knights. Because, of course, it's the Vegas Golden Knights. There's not really all that much I can say about the Golden Knights. They've been the story all season long for good reason, but they've been talked to death. There's nothing I could possibly say that hasn't already been said. This is a team made up of rejects, of players that other teams didn't want, or at least didn't want enough to protect in the expansion draft. This is a team that after the expansion draft, people were questioning George McPhee. What were you thinking? This team is going to be awful. I don't understand what you're even doing here. This team will be lucky to win a game, let alone enough to necessitate getting into the playoffs. This team will be lucky to get 70 points over the next couple seasons. This team, there's no way they'll be successful. There's no way they can survive if Marc-Andre Fleury gets injured at the beginning of this year. There's no way they will be able to endure about 4 other goalies getting injured at the beginning of this year. There's no way they'll keep winning. There's no way they will continue to win over the course of an 82-game season. It's too long. They will regress. There's no way they're making the playoffs. There's no way William Karlsson is scoring 43 goals this season. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? There's no way. There's no way they're winning the Pacific. There's no way. There's no way they're sweeping the Los Angeles Kings in the first round. And there's certainly no way that they're beating the San Jose Sharks, who were just in the Stanley Cup Final 2 years ago. There's no way they're beating them in 6 games. And there's certainly no way that they're going to be able to beat a Winnipeg Jets team that just knocked off the Nashville Predators. There's no way they can hang with the Jets and beat them in 5 games. There's no way they're making the Stanley Cup Final. Newsflash, people, if you haven't heard it already, this team, the Vegas Golden Knights, they don't care what any of us think. They don't care what anybody thinks about their team. They have chips on their shoulders. They know how to play. And they are in the Stanley Cup Final. So who's going to win? One of these teams is going to be winning their first Stanley Cup in franchise history. Will it be the Washington Capitals? Will Ovechkin finally, after all this time, be able to lift the cup over his head? Or will it be the expansion franchise in their inaugural season? The Capitals, well, they have skill, they have speed, they have size, they have depth. They have the ability to win the Stanley Cup. They are good enough to do it. There is a reason why they are here. The Vegas Golden Knights have speed. They have incredible puck luck. They play a great system. And they have Marc-Andre Fleury. If the Capitals are going to beat the Vegas Golden Knights, Holtby will have to outduel Fleury. Holtby ended that Eastern Conference Final Series with 2 straight shutouts, Game 6, Game 7. Game 6, fantastic performance. Game 7, however, I thought he looked quite shaky. He didn't give up a goal, but he was pretty shaky. Lots of rebounds given up. He was very lucky that the defense in front of him was absolutely suffocating in that game, and the Lightning really didn't come to play either. But I was not very convinced with Holtby's play. Quite frankly, I don't think Holtby will be able to outduel Marc-Andre Fleury, and for that reason, I fully believe that the Vegas Golden Knights, despite all the doubts I and many others have had, the Vegas Golden Knights will be your 2018 Stanley Cup champions. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below. Like, share, and subscribe. But most importantly, as always, stay safe, make good decisions, enjoy the Stanley Cup Final, and I'll see you next time.